Hi everybody. As I told you, I'd be here at 11. And I'm gonna wait for some people to come on. It's Sunday, and Sunday are normally the days where shows and videos and whatever get the largest reach. Obviously everybody is home, most people are home, it's the weekend, it's Sunday, and I know that a lot of you have had so many questions over the last few days, right? I have to tell you that if somebody would have told me 2 weeks ago that I'd be talking about this and making this type of a video, I would have never believed it. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Give me a reaction if you can hear me, please. Because I've had a lot of issues with my sound. Okay, you can hear me. So I know for the last few days, so many of you, thank you, Julie. Julie knows the issues that I've had with my videos for months now. And I have to tell you that it's been a very difficult couple of days for me. I've been in absolute shock, like so many of you, in absolute disbelief, in absolute somewhere between just helplessness, anger because there's so many factors involved. I mean, I will go through some of the sort of the timeline of what happened up to leading up to Kirsten's death, but we also know that there's a lot of other factors that come into play when it comes to what's going on in the world right now, what goes on in hospitals, what goes on, and what's going on in hospitals for years. I'm gonna try to not to get too political right now. I know there's going to be a lot of controversy around Kirsten's case, and I'd like to keep this more, on a factual-based video, just so that you guys get answers, because I know that thousands of people used to follow her, and I want you guys to know something before I begin, before I forget. I want you guys to know how dedicated Kirsten was to you guys, to her audience. I spent a couple of days at her house and then a few more days with her at a hotel where we were together 24 hours a day for a few days, right? Like 24/7. Very close, and I watched her daily everything, right? And I want you guys to know how much making a difference meant to her, how much time and effort she put into her videos. Some of us are different. Some of us just open up a video and we go live and at any time, without a schedule, whatever. Well, that was not Kirsten. As you know, she was very disciplined. She was very dedicated. She would get up at 3 a.m. To start preparing for her 9 o'clock show. So it would take her 6 hours every single day to prepare for her show. Between the time she took a shower, got ready, went through the news, got her equipment ready, especially if she was traveling. That was a big deal to her, to make sure that she kept on and motivating people and informing people and giving people hope more than anything, because that one of the things that we've lost over the years is hope, especially recently, especially with the recent election. And I feel now lucky and blessed to have seen her behind the scenes, and I want you guys to know how much dedication, time, effort, energy she put into all of this. And I must tell you, it's not because she had to. She certainly didn't have to. Maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't know, because now it's out there on the news. Kirsten, she was pretty well off financially. She really didn't need to do any of this. She didn't need to, she did the ads because she believed in what she did. She did the advertising of the products and everything else because she truly believed in them. She really didn't need the money, and she did it because she cared and she wanted to share information. When I was at her house, she gave me one of the products that she promotes, that she used to promote. And it was truly amazing. It really was. It was truly, truly amazing. I was like, oh my God, I want some of this. I have messages where I contact her and I tell her, I gotta get some of this stuff, and I'm pretty healthy myself and I'm pretty well informed. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is that she didn't do it for the money. She did it because whatever she endorsed, whatever she advertised, whatever she talked about, she did it from her heart. She really did, She had enough money to live well for the rest of her life, and she still wanted to do more. She was tired. She mentioned a few times retiring. She mentioned that this was very, very stressful because it was. But she just wanted to continue to give more because because she knew how much she meant to you guys. Her audience and the American people were very important to her. As you know, she was an immigrant of Singaporean descent who absolutely loved and appreciated and valued America. She really did. I think that's where one of the main things where her and I connected, and she told me that since the beginning. The fact that, that as immigrants, sometimes we value it more than certain Americans. We really do. We want to fight more than some of the Americans on the left. We really do. We know what third worlds are like. We know what other countries are like. And we know what America is like. And we know how blessed we are. We know how long it took to become Americans. And I think that's one of the aspects where her and I connected a lot. And we always talked about it. So I have to tell you that for the last few days, I've had a really hard time with this. And, it's shocking. It's so shocking to me because you don't expect someone like Kirsten to just one day be gone for whatever reason, for whatever reason, whatever it might have been, whatever it would have been. But I have to tell you how much she motivated me, even though she was kind of that motivation for me that sometimes kind of like a parent where they tell you what to do and you're just like be quiet already, like that kind of thing. But people only do that because they care. What other reason would she have to try to motivate me and try to get me to do things other than because she cared? Guys, I don't take phone calls from a lot of people. I hate being on the phone. Kirsten was probably one of the 3 or 4 people that I talked on the phone with. I literally do not take phone calls. I hate phone calls. Okay. I text, I chat, whatever. I don't do phone calls. And I would, whenever, and she called a lot. She liked to talk on the phone. She hated texting. And whenever she would call, I'd be like, oh, okay, Kirsten, but I would take her call because I knew that she had no reason to support me. She had no reason to be on me, other than because she wanted to see me succeed. And I think that's one of the things that over the last couple days has really got to me, like I said, everybody talks about the different relationship that they had with her. Her and I never really had any problems at all, other than the fact that my haters were bothering her and it really got to her. So she kind of took it out on me at some point. And but then I guess she probably understood that it was not my fault what they were doing because they do the same to me. They spent about 7 months, bullying her, harassing her, humiliating her, degrading her, you name it. They were doing it and they do it to me all day long. I just got used to it a long time ago. I try to ignore them. But when they started doing it to her, it really got to her. So she kind of got mad at me. And then we just agreed that we wouldn't do as much together so that people wouldn't bother her anymore because this criminal group is very dedicated and very obsessed. So we agreed, even the New Year's party that we were supposed to spend that together, we said, well, we're not going to post pictures. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to meet people. And, she wanted to introduce me to some of these people and whatever else, right? So anyway, for the last few days, guys, I know that a lot of you have had a lot of questions, and I want to answer some of your questions because everybody's just kind of speculating a lot of different things. If she was murdered, if this, if that, if she died of COVID or whatever it might have been. So this is what I can share with you from the timeline that I've been very upset about this over the last 2 days. So I've gone over and over and over things in my head on her videos, on, people's posts on Telegram, on people's posts on Instagram, on my conversations with her, on just, I normally don't do that, but for some reason, I feel like I want to understand more of what happened and be able to share with you guys, because I know that so many, literally thousands of you have questions. So many of you, thousands of you want to know exactly what happened to her. So this is what I've been able to gather from her videos, from her friends, from her neighbors, from my conversations with her, from Telegram posts that I've seen and everything else. So apparently, around the second week of January, she was getting ready, of December, she was getting ready to leave to Virginia. She was very excited about her trip to Virginia, called me and said, I'm going to Virginia with Ricky Rebel. I'm excited. We're going to do a big event. Then after that, I'm going to get some procedure done, some cosmetic procedure. And then that's when I asked her if it was safe. If you guys remember me talking about this, I asked her if it was safe. I asked her if she was going to get full anesthesia, because the less anesthesia for me, the better. So I asked her, she said no. I said, great, that's great that you're not getting anesthesia. That was on a text conversation. I said, good. I cared about her, guys. I cared about her health. I cared about, her being okay, because, why else would I ask that? Other, whoever would just be like, oh, okay, well, good luck, whatever, enjoy or have fun or, whatever. She was getting a couple cosmetic procedures done, but I asked her if she was getting anesthesia. She said no. And I just said, okay. Then on the phone, I asked her if it was safe. She said, yeah, I'll be fine, So that was around, I think, December 16th. Then she traveled to Virginia. She did the event with Ricky Rebel and a few other people. I honestly, like I said, I'm so busy. Sometimes I don't really follow, a lot of the things other people do, just because I'm so busy myself. She texted me exactly, I believe, December 20th to let me know she was back from Virginia, because at that point, she wanted to start planning the trip to California, which is how she ended up to California. In California, she was planning a New Year's party at Sue Wong's mansion in LA. On December 16th, she called me. I didn't answer. Sometimes I don't answer my calls. We did a video together on December 16th on Facebook. And she said, I'm in Virginia. And she told me about the stuff that she was going to get. She was excited about it. She was excited about these procedures. She said, I look so good, She said, I look really good. Then I said, she asked me to invite someone else to the New Year's party. Anyway, that's how she ended up in California. On December 17th, she texted me letting me know she was back in Florida from Virginia, right? I said, I'll call you back. I'm driving. And then that was basically one of our last texts until December 29th, when I said, are you already in LA? She said, yes, she was there for the New Year's party. But I must tell you this. From some of the videos that I watched of hers, Sue Wong is a fashion designer that had a beautiful party at her mansion in Los Angeles, in Los Feliz. She had a beautiful party, and a New Year's party that she invited Kirsten to. And I also want to read Sue Wong's message to you. Sue Wong wrote a really beautiful message to Kirsten, and I read this on Telegram. So I'm gonna read this to you guys. Because I think it's important for people to know a lot of the details, about her life, why she was in LA, how she ended up in California. I know she didn't die in Florida. She died in California at an LA hospital. So if anybody's telling you different, I know in the beginning people had were very confused. And now even Yahoo News did a hit piece on her, because we knew they would, because this is what they do, right? They do hit pieces on people. They've done them on me a bunch of times. That's what they do. But I want to read Sue Won's message to you guys, and to help you understand more why she was in LA for this party. Apparently her and Sue Won, who is a fashion designer, a very very well-known, very talented fashion designer, invited her to her New Year's Eve party, and that's why she traveled to California. And it seems to me that she was very excited, obviously, about her trip and about meeting Sue Won finally. I'm trying to find that message, and I'm gonna read it to you. Let's see. 1 second. Let me try to get that for you. 1 second. From Sue Won. I'm going to read this to you guys, okay? Farewell to Kirsten. It is with a heavy heart that I must announce that our dear sister Kirsten W. has fallen. She transitioned today after fighting a nearly 2-week battle with bacterial pneumonia. Although we never met in person, Kirsten had been a Facebook friend for nearly a decade. We recently developed a burgeoning friendship, and she was the initial connector who introduced me to wonderful Sasha Stone, as well as to dear Michael Jaco and his wife Tracy Jo Jaco. Kirsten flew out here to California to attend my New Year's Eve party. However, stopped in Camarillo to visit an old friend and never made it to my party. She became seriously ill and was confined to the ICU in a Camarillo hospital. Her enduring gift was to have made the introduction and connection to my beautiful new friends. I will remain grateful for her great gift and at a tragic sacrifice. Farewell, my friend Kirsten. May you continue your soul's journey back to the ultimate source. So this is this goes on a little longer, but this is Sue Won's message to Kirsten. Our souls speak a language that is beyond human understanding, a connection so rare that the universe won't let us part. Till we meet again, dear sister Kirsten W., may your soul be at peace. So that was from Sue Won, the ladies, the designer whose party Kirsten was supposed to attend. And anyway, I want to share with you more of exactly what led up to her death. And because a lot of you have so many questions. She was sick for a couple of weeks, as you just read from Sue Won, who obviously was on the phone with her. She was sick. She kept complaining about not having any appetite, about being very weak, about sleeping a lot, about all of that, and I think she was just so excited to share with her audience her show on January 1st from Santa Monica, California, that she didn't want to cancel the trip. She did not want to cancel her trip. And I think she just really pushed herself. I really do. And this is what I've been telling you since the beginning of this video. She gave it all for her audience, guys. I watched her 3 nights in a row, wake up at 3 a.m. to prepare for her shows, to have facts for you guys, to have information ready, because she knew that so many thousands of people were counting on her. This is a type of woman that, she, a lot of people disagreed with her, and sometimes there was some conflict, but that she was just an ambitious soul. And one of her main, and when I say ambitious, one of her main ambitions was wanting to change the world, wanting to contribute in some way. And I think it really stressed her out. It really drained her sometimes. The attacks that she got a lot of attacks. The negative feedback that she got sometimes, knowing that she was putting so much work and effort into all of the things that she was doing. And one of the things that I noticed about her was that she wanted to quit so bad, but something within her soul didn't let her quit. Something within her kept her going, because she knew the world needed her. We don't have a lot of people that are as dedicated and as passionate, as determined as she was. I told you that she did not do this for the money. She didn't need the money. She even told me, she was like, I have to find things to, I want to buy a house. I want to do this. I mean, she already had a house, but I want to buy a house. I want to open up a Doberman rescue. I want to do this. I want to do that. And, but something did not let her quit. And I think, ultimately, I feel that's what led to her untimely death. Again, she was checked into a hospital in Camarillo, California. From what I understand, she was found unconscious that morning, the morning she was taken to the hospital. I don't think she had a choice, or the people around her had a choice whether or not to take her to the hospital. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but I don't think that I am from what I've gathered from her friends. I think it got to a point where there was no choice but to take her to the hospital. And I'm not sure what kind of treatment they got her. I mean, she obviously had underlying bacterial pneumonia. On her Telegram, she posted about COVID. On her Telegram, she posted about not wanting to take Fauci's medicine, Resvitamier, I believe it's called, or whatever it's called. She didn't want to take that. She was very vocal with the hospital that about not wanting to get that treatment. She was very vocal about not being vaccinated. And I'm not sure if all those factors came into play with the way she was treated. I hope not. I really do. I'm not very fond of hospitals myself. I've always been very outspoken against traditional medicine. And I have a reason for that, and that's the reason why the last time I ever talked to her, which was December 31st, I really wanted to know what hospital she was at. I really wanted to try to help her in some way, but whoever was with her at that point did not let me gather up any information as to her location. And they clearly said, as I could hear them in the background, saying that I was not allowed to visit. I would have had no problem, since I was in the same city and I did go to Sue Won's party, showing up at the hospital first thing in the morning, January 1st, or right after the party or something, She really wanted me to go to Sue Won's party. She said, go to the party, go. I'm not going, go. She was very weak last time I talked to her. She said she was very nauseous. She said she was gagging. She told, detox, I'm not, a lot of people are talking about this detox. Regardless of a detox, you could have adverse reactions from a detox, but definitely not something that's going to kill you. You have a lot of, when you do heavy detoxes, you could have headaches, you could have chills, you could have a lot of aches, major body aches, but I don't think a detox is going to kill you or even weaken you to the point of killing you, And she was a very healthy person. I was at her house for a couple of days, and I love to bake. She didn't even want to eat, some of the stuff that I was baking because she was that healthy. So for her to be so badly affected by a detox is highly, highly doubtful. Someone who doesn't eat a lot of sugar, somebody who doesn't eat meat, somebody who doesn't eat a lot of carbs, somebody who doesn't drink, who doesn't smoke. She lived a very healthy lifestyle. A detox shouldn't be anything so drastic, anything so tragic, So, I don't understand either. I don't either, Marsha. And this is the reason why I wanted to make this video, because I know a lot of you are wondering why. I talked to one of her friends in Florida, and he's wondering the same thing. Why didn't she take these, whether it be ivermectin or hydrochloroquine or any of those? I don't think she even thought about having COVID. I don't think she knew she had COVID. I think she just felt it was a bad cold, or maybe just, a flu. And probably the reason why she traveled to California. Obviously now her friends and all of us who cared about her are wishing that we would have, that she would have stayed home, that she wouldn't have traveled to California. I think she was very excited, not only about New Year's Eve, but she also had an event in Santa Monica on January 1st. If you guys remember, she was promoting an event in Santa Monica on January 1st. This is, I don't know why she gave me her card last time I saw her, but this is her card. She was very good at everything that she did, guys. She bragged about, you know, about her channels, and I think she did it with every right to do so, because I don't know of too many people that can have a channel with 120,000 followers taken down on YouTube and rebuild within a matter of weeks or months. It's she was definitely admirable. Definitely loved by so many. And again, that's the reason why I wanted to make this video, because I know that so many thousands of people have questions, and I want to answer more of those questions if I can. Send me, if you can, send me, you know, send me just shorter questions so that I can answer them. But she died on January 6th, apparently around, from what I understand, around 8 o'clock in the morning. She started getting really, really sick around 4 in the morning, and she died apparently around 8 in the morning. I've called the hospital dozens of times. They don't want to give me any information. They don't want to take anybody's phone calls. I, at this point, don't even know where her body is. But all I can tell you is that I've been, like I said, gathering up information from her friends, from one of her very close friends. On Tuesday, January 4th, she left the hospital. So 2 days before she died, she was able to leave the hospital. But she was not strong enough to be able to leave and go home. She had to go back into the hospital. And apparently, for whatever reason, oxygen was not available for her. Maybe if it would have been, she would have been able to go home. But apparently she could not take oxygen home with her on January 4th. Her family, thank you for asking about that. Apparently she has a brother and a sister in Singapore. I don't think she has any family in the US. And I hope that they've already been able to contact their family, because right now there's a sort of a mystery with what's happened to her phone. 2 people got phone calls the day she died, after she died, from her phone that seemed to be butt dials with no answer on the other side. Her Telegram last post was 2 a.m. on January 6th. She really wanted to get out of the hospital. Again, they let her leave on January 4th. But at the same time, she could not take oxygen home. I feel that if she would have been able to take oxygen home, maybe she would have been able to stay alive. I think she was just really desperate and really wanted to leave the hospital. But without oxygen, at that point, I think it's impossible for anybody, you know, especially with the underlying condition of bacterial pneumonia, which we don't know where she picked up. Maybe during one of these procedures that she got done in Virginia. I know, and I've gotten so many hundreds of messages from you guys of how much you cared about her, how much you will miss her, how much she meant to you. I mean, I would love to read some of you guys' comments, because some of them have been so heartfelt and so touching. And like I said, I've had a really difficult time with this, because it's just shocking to me. It's just been so shocking to me to go from driving to LA wanting, to meet her, and not meet her. I met her, in the past, but to spend New Year's with her, to getting a phone call, just a few days later that she had died. So, so many messages, guys, so many messages. So many people loved her. She was such an inspiration to so many. And she, I'm gonna read the ones that really, I mean, all of them are beautiful, but some of them are, she made me brave. She was a lion. She had courage. She brought the truth. Losing Kirsten has been very difficult for so many of us. I'm going to miss her. I know God will look after her. I never got to meet her, but I watched her every time on her show for 2 years. She became a part of people's daily lives, guys. She became a part of everybody's, a lot of people's routine, especially patriots who really wanted to see a change, who want to see a change in America, and who felt that was, that Kirsten was a big inspiration for that. She will be missed. I'm sorry. We should keep fighting in her name. And again, she had a very, very, very strange personality with me. She really used to push me a lot. And sometimes I was like, okay, be quiet already, but now it's, you guys know what I mean. It's kind of sometimes like an aunt or an uncle or a parent that tells you that you need to do something. And then you realize that person wouldn't tell me that unless they cared about me. She was a part of your daily life. Thank you, Karen Begley, for sharing that with us. And there's so many messages that it's hard for me to share them all. It's impossible for me to go. I mean, that post alone has close to 900 comments. But I wanted to share with you, that she was sick before even arriving in California. It's so unfortunate and so ironic, but so unfortunate that she had to die at a California hospital because she really did not like California. She was happy in Florida. She was happy at her home in Florida. She was happy, with the politics in Florida, and she had obviously spent many years in the state of California, and she didn't like it. She didn't like California, and she woke up so many people about so many issues. And it's so unfortunate that because she kept pushing herself, she had to end up at a California hospital. Obviously those of us also who know what's going on wonder, well, what if she would have gone to a Florida hospital? What if she would have just stayed home? What if, she would have taken ivermectin or this, or taken this, or taken that, or whatever, or whatever. I mean, whatever, something, from what I understand, she wasn't really taking anything. And she was just kind of writing it out and probably hoping that her natural remedies for whatever she was using, would help her, and probably didn't realize that she was fighting bacterial pneumonia more than COVID, because I think it was the complication between the bacterial pneumonia and towards the end she did post on her Telegram that I believe she tested positive for COVID, and that's really what made everything very difficult for her to recover and unable to get the oxygen that she needed. And she really helped you with your anxiety this year. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with us. And January 1st, January 2nd, she was talking to people, wanted to get out. She really loved me. Yeah, I know. She had her weird ways. It's like that I see her now as this like complicated family member. That they tell you, oh, do, but in the end, it's only because they want the best for you. Because otherwise, who cares? Somebody who doesn't care about you is not going to tell you what to do or even bother with you. She was very proud recently of my trips to Tapachula, and I really loved the way she pronounced Tapachula because she sounded so Hispanic. She was like, Tapachula. She's like, we got to talk about your Tapachula trip. And I was like, oh my God, Kirsten. We did, like I said, our last video together was December 16th. So just a few weeks ago. And she really cared, and she always expressed to me how she was proud of me. And she said, if she's like, you got to get out there and you got to do things. She was like, if I was, younger, I would do this and I would do that. And this video is not about me. And, but I'm sharing with you the reason why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling the last few days. because now I go back and I think about all the things that she said. And she was complicated. She was complicated, but I have to tell you that she was probably number 2 person who motivated me to run for Congress, you know. And that she was very, very, very pushy, very pushy. Even one on some of her last messages, she's like, because I told her I really want to go to Mexico City. She's like, what are you going to do in Mexico City? Mexico City's not going to do anything for you. And I was like, okay, Kirsten, I'll see you in LA, you know, because she really wanted me to be at her January 1st event. And she's like, no. She's like, no, you're not going to Mexico City. What for? And I was like, fine, whatever. I'll see you in LA, you know, because I was supposed to be in Mexico City for January 1st, you know, and December 31st. And so I changed my whole thing around, you know, because of her party, you know, Sue Won's party, and because of her event, you know. I normally spend New Year's Eve in Mexico City, but she said, Mexico City's not going to do anything for you. And as much as I hated to hear some of the stuff that she just sometimes said, now I realize that, you know, that why she was doing it. And I think that's one of the reasons why, this has been so difficult for me for the last few days, you know. I'll read you her exact message and what she said. She goes, you should be doing everything you can right now. You're not going to win. And Mexico City's not going to help you, you know. So I said, okay, fine. I said, okay, I'll be there on the 31st and obviously on the 1st in Santa Monica where she was having this event, you know. Yeah, she was very, very truthful with everybody. And a lot of people don't like to hear the truth, you know. Even friends don't like to hear the truth. We don't like to hear the truth. We don't like people telling us things like they are, especially when they're about us, you know. And that's just how she was, you know. She was like, I don't like your hair. You got to do something about your hair. You got to cut your hair, you know. And obviously as people, we don't like to hear that kind of stuff. But the only reason why she really did that was because she cared. Otherwise, she would just be like, oh, whatever. I don't care, you know. She cared and she wanted to see other people succeed. And she was, you know, she was giving and that's how she was, you know. Her little birdie, I know, right? Her little birdie and her introductions. And I got to tell you that the success that she had didn't come easily. She had been working on this for years. And, you know, she was, like she always said, when I set my mind to do something, I get it done. She was a tenacious warrior. And now as I go back, because this normally happens, unfortunately, when somebody dies, unfortunately, you go back and you kind of, you know, because you're so busy with everything else. So once somebody dies, you kind of go back and find those moments that you remember about that person, you know, and now I understand why she was successful at everything that she did, because she was driven. She was so driven, and I unfortunately feel that's one of the things that led up to all of this. That she really wanted to do more. And, you know, everyone knows this. The last few days of the year become such difficult times because we want to be able to celebrate Christmas. We want to be able to celebrate New Year's. We want to do this. We want to do that. If you watch one of our videos, she says, you know, we'll see what January 1st brings. Obviously didn't have a clue that she'd be in the hospital January 1st, you know. Scott McKay said that they hadn't talked for months. Well, I heard him say that, but in the end, I think he really respects and values her work and everything that she did and the courage that she had. And she's in a better place now. I sure hope so. I really do. And I at this point, I'm just still very worried about what's happened to her body, you know, and I know her soul is gone, but it worries me with her family in Singapore. And I know she left a person of contact here in America, obviously. Her dad passed away on January 4th. So that must have been really hard on her. I think that's the day. Yeah, it's a rosary ring, guys. I know somebody said it was something else a couple days ago. No, it's a rosary ring that I've been wearing not my entire life, but for many years. I am Catholic, very, 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 very strong in my faith. It's the only thing that's kept me alive and got me out of situations that I probably wouldn't have gotten out of. And I wear this every day. Sometimes I shower with it. Sometimes I'll take it off for whatever reason. Sometimes I forget to put it on, but normally I always have it on. And I'm very, very strong in my faith. I'm Catholic. I have a white candle here burning for Kirsten. So anyway, that's what we Catholics do. You know that. We burn candles, right? So, anyway, I think it was her drive and her dedication that really pushed her. And just kind of, she wanted to come out to California and probably didn't realize that just the next day she was going to not even be able to wake up. Like I said, from what I understand, the person that took her to the hospital didn't even take her. It was an ambulance, from what I understand. An ambulance took her to the hospital because she was unconscious. She could not wake up on December 30th. So she had to be taken to the hospital at that point. Last time I talked to her was December 31st. And she was not vaccinated. For those of you who have been wondering if it was because she got the vaccine or whatever else, from what I know, she told the doctors she was not vaccinated. I believe that was sort of brought up against her at the hospital, where somebody said, "Well, she's not vaccinated." But I think it was her bacterial pneumonia that was the underlying condition at that point that just made everything worse. She had a personality that wouldn't let her quit. I agree. And see, the thing is that she was so strong, and she had been so strong her whole life, that I don't think she realized the danger that she was under, Bacteria can quickly take over your body, guys. I always, I hate doctors and I hate hospitals. I really do. But look into, natural antibiotics. And I think, if it would have been taken care of early enough, maybe she'd still be here with us and we wouldn't be making this video and we wouldn't be talking about this. But on her Telegram, it does say she tested positive for COVID. And so we don't know if it was COVID that actually, obviously if she posted that, they're going to mark it as a cause of death. But the bottom line is that she had been sick for weeks prior. And from what we know and from what she posted, it was bacterial pneumonia, which has been around for decades, and it has nothing to do with COVID. And has to do with your blood type. I'm reading some of your comments. Again, I wanted to make this video to answer your questions more than anything. She said it felt like poisoning at first. Oh, okay. Like food poisoning. Like I said, I mostly talked to her directly. I didn't really watch her videos only because I'm so busy. But I went back yesterday, the day before, and I watched her videos. I watched her last 3 videos. And she was coughing a lot. She repeated over and over and over how tired she felt. That she had slept for many hours. She said, I think I even slept too much. She goes, I think I have to get out and to get an appetite. So I went back and watched her videos just because obviously this has been weighing heavy on me for the last few days. And I just really wanted to get an understanding of what happened to her. And the infection went into her blood. Yeah, I agree. That's probably what happened. What I don't understand, though, one second, let me, Deneen, is that she checked into the hospital on December 30th. Okay, that's the day they checked her into the hospital. And she passed away on January 6th. So that is a whole 8 days. 8 days. And I mean, it seems to me that with modern medicine and everything that we have now, in 8 days they'd be able to save her life, don't you? She didn't have any other underlying conditions that I know of. She was extremely healthy. I don't think she had any heart conditions. I don't think she had any, she certainly didn't have cancer or this or that or any of it, So what kind of antibiotics did they give her? I mean, was it not strong enough to combat this bacterial pneumonia or even COVID? So I left a message about her, another contributing factor that could be part of, I would consider sharing. Okay, it's really difficult for me to read all of your messages, but I will go back and look at it. I don't know what other contributing factor, but other than her bacterial pneumonia, I really don't know. Let's see. And I had a friend who had bacterial pneumonia just a couple months ago, and she was able to recover from it, hypothyroid. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know that a hypothyroid would be an underlying condition for a virus. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not a doctor by any means, but I honestly don't think so. I could see other things, but again, she was extremely healthy. For those of you who knew her in person, like I did, it was shocking to see how strong she was and how healthy she was. Her skin was absolutely amazing. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me, because I think we've lost the sound by now. If you can hear me, let me know. Okay, you can hear me. I lose this. Facebook has been taking away my sound on my videos. Sometimes when you're extremely ill and you haven't sought treatment soon enough, no matter what, they can't save you. I used to work in a hospital, in a ward secretary, worked in and I agree with that. I agree, Marita. I don't know exactly what, obviously she had been weak. Obviously she was talking about it. Obviously she kept mentioning that she had not eaten, that she didn't have any appetite, that she said, I have to eat something because I feel so weak. Remember that? Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know, because somebody said I can't hear you. So obviously she had already been sick, but I think we really need to look into the medical records and see exactly what was done to her, what she was treated with, and what efforts were made by this hospital to try to save her life, and why she was allowed to leave on January 4th, and why she wasn't given oxygen if she was allowed to leave. And all of those questions we want to know. She was important to a lot of people. She was loved by a lot of people. And I think it's these protocols at hospitals that we really have to question. And, if it's going to take someone like Kirsten's death to question and analyze and investigate these protocols, well, then we should do that, And it's a very dangerous thing to talk against big pharma and hospitals and the medical industry. You guys know this. But but enough is enough, enough is enough. What was done to her? What exactly were the details, leading up to her death, and what was she treated with? And why was she allowed to leave on Tuesday, but then she dies on Thursday, all of that. They get paid the big bucks to let her die. I know. So many people are so sad about her passing. I agree with you. Where we go all one, we go all. Oh, I know. I know. And she was, like I said, she was so admirable, because I was saying earlier, before I interrupted myself, that whatever she accomplished, don't think it was anything that was overnight. It took her years. I remember her reaching out to me back in 2018, and she was so excited to have me on her show. This was 4 years ago. And she said, I've been following you for a while now, and I like you so much. And I remember her so excited. I was like, wow, you're so excited, And she was so dedicated to having a show every single, always on time, taking her hours to get ready. And she was so passionate about gathering as much information as she could for you guys. And again, I got to see it behind the scenes. I remember we were at a hotel in San Antonio, Texas, and she was so professional about her show that I said, I'm just going to leave, go to the gym or go somewhere for an hour, let you do your show. And I'll wait until you're done to come back in, because she didn't like anything interrupting her show, anything, messing things up between her and her audience. She was very, very dedicated to you guys. You have no idea how much. She was definitely not a pushover. She was stubborn. But anyone that has as much influence and the personality that she has, that she had, is not going to be easy to deal with, And that's one of the reasons why, I've had a hard time with it recently, because I remember, even with everything my haters did to her, and as mad as she was, because she was very, very upset at what my own criminal haters did to her, she was still like, okay, fine, I don't mind it anymore. Like, and someone with her personality should have really just walked away, because she didn't take any bullshit, basically, But she kept on reaching out to me and coming back, because, as many of you have said, she wanted to see me succeed. And that means a lot to me. And I'll take that with me for the rest of my life. And this morning, I did not want to get up and do this video. I have a million things to do, as far as, just all the things that I have going on with, my personal life and my animals. But I knew it was Sunday, and I really wanted to share this with you. And I really wanted to share more of her personal life and some of the details of what happened recently, because I know that so many people have questions. And I don't think it had anything to do with the detox. I think really she overworked herself. And I, in my opinion, and they can use this in court against me if they want, but in my opinion, a lot more could have been done at the hospital, a lot more could be done at hospitals for a lot of these people. And I've seen some severe cases of pneumonia. My stepdad, I mentioned this on a video a couple days ago, and it was taken down. My stepdad had pneumonia, and he was in an induced coma back in 2017. And I gave him some stuff that woke him up out of the coma, and the doctor said that he had a miraculous recovery. And that's one of the things that is really like weighing heavy on my heart, because I feel that if I could have gotten to Kirsten, maybe I could have helped her in some way, and maybe she'd still be alive right now. One of our friends is in the hospital now, and I'm trying to find ways to help her as we speak. And so, again, this has been, for that reason, for me personally, this has been really, really hard. because I feel more could have been done. Thousands of people complain about the treatment that they get at these hospitals, because they do. And it's no mystery, especially in certain states, and we all wonder, well, what if this would have happened in Florida? She would probably still be alive right now. And no, I'm honestly not picking up where she left off by any means. Again, her energy and her passion and her drive and everything else. I remember like waking up at 4 a.m, listening to her, and I'm like, oh my God, Kirsten, you're already awake. Go to sleep. But no, that was her routine, She woke up at 3 a.m. so she could put those shows together for you guys. And she was definitely very pushy, especially with me, She was very outspoken with me, very optimistic, very, very optimistic. And and like I said on a post about 2 months ago, or maybe a month and a half ago, I said one of the people that really motivated me to run for Congress was CirstenW. And I posted that, even though the haters were going to go crazy and probably attack her. But it's on this page, I believe, or on one of my pages. It's I thanked her for motivating me so much for running for Congress. And that was about a month and a half ago. So she was definitely, if anybody was an influencer, she loved to call herself an influencer, just so you guys know. It really made her proud to call herself an influencer. So for those of you, as many as you can, I know you're going to call her all kinds of things, a warrior and a truther and this and that, but please call her an influencer. That's what she loved to be called. She very proudly said, I'm an influencer, And anyway, I wanted to share more, like I said, more details, just because I know that so many of you have been wondering what happened to her. I've read a lot of the comments. I've been again, I normally don't do as much research when it comes to one specific thing. And I've been looking at every single post on Telegram, every post on Facebook, every post everywhere, trying to just figure out exactly what it is that happened with with her last days, with her death, with everything else, because I know that people you guys wanted answers for the last few days. So and I wanted what hospital she was at St. John's Hospital in Camarillo, California, because apparently the house where she was staying was in Camarillo. Camarillo, she was in the ICU area of the hospital, and bed 163, I believe, in ICU. I've literally spent the last 2 days just trying to put all the pieces together in my head. And she was checked into the hospital December 30th. December 29th, she sent me a text. When I asked her if she was in LA, she said yes. December 30th, she was checked into the hospital by ambulance. December 31st, I talked to her. That was the last time I talked to her. And January 4th, she tried leaving the hospital. January 6th, she died. Right now, I have tried calling the hospital. They don't give us any answers as far as her body, her whereabouts, anything. From what I heard from someone who drove by the hospital yesterday, they have freezers in the back. That it looks like a beautiful facility in the front and whatever else. I believe it's by a golf course and everything else. But in the back, they have freezers, and all that. Yeah, and so, like I said, I wanted to make this video so I can answer more questions for you guys, because I've gotten so many private messages that, guys, it's impossible to answer so many sometimes. As you know, I have over 50 animal rescues, and it's really, really hard for me to do a lot more. Anyway, I'm trying to read some of your comments. You never started your day without listening to Kirsten. She was your influencer, and your mornings will be lonely without her. Thank you for sharing, Mary Murphy. She loved to be called an influencer. So I hope, I don't know where her body will go. but definitely in everything where we remember her. I hope we can keep calling her an influencer. She loved, just trust me. Okay, trust me on that one. She loved to be called an influencer. Okay, just trust me on that one. So maybe we should make a plaque with her name and call her Kirsten W, top influencer in America, because she was. Her dad had dementia, and again, I believe her dad died on January 4th, and maybe that's why she wanted to leave the hospital, and maybe that, I mean, I'm sure that must have been extremely difficult on her. Imagine not being able to breathe and lacking oxygen and getting a call saying your dad just died, you know. She will be so missed. Thank you, Lisa. Kirsten W was definitely a great influencer. Many of us owe knowledge of current and past events to this wonderful woman. I agree. She was so devoted to her cause. She was so devoted to making a difference and to bringing people together. That's what she really wanted. That's the reason why she invited me to Sue Won's party. She wanted me to meet whoever she could introduce me to at this party. And I will forever be grateful for that, you know. And she even showed me her outfits. She had 2 different dresses. I'm not really sure which one she was going to wear, but she had 2 different outfits designed by Sue Won, 2 different dresses. And I'm happy to do whatever well, Jessica, I think a lot of us still want more answers, and I know that the hospital is being very difficult when it comes to explaining to us where she is, and who's in charge now, and who has legal power right now to of her body, and because also remember that anybody now that dies of COVID, sometimes they treat them like there's some biochemical weapon or some toxic waste or something. And I just don't know. And as soon as I hear something, I have not reached out to Roseanne. Maybe I don't know that she knows any more than we do, though. Rebecca, I don't know, but I will definitely try reaching out to her. And she has, I believe her family, Josephine, is in Singapore. Her brother and sister are in Singapore. And I know a lot of you will miss her. I understand, Michelle, that they have to protect her privacy, but in the end, somebody has to be able to claim her body, right? But you know how they've been treating people with COVID. I mean, this isn't just about Kirsten. This is about everybody else, also. This is what they've been doing for the last 2 years, treating bodies with COVID like they are, again, toxic waste or something, not allowing you to have funerals. So I definitely think that we should, I know that Michael Jaco and Scott McKay were talking about a memorial or something. If I find out anything, let me know, or let you know, I will for sure let you know. But I know that again, some of the people that have died of COVID, and I know that's how it's happened in Mexico as well, they don't allow you to have funerals, I'm not sure what they're doing to those bodies. So Jacob said she was staying with a lawyer in California. She was staying with a lawyer, a friend of hers in California, and I believe that's where she lost consciousness, and where she had to be taken by ambulance from. That was, I believe, her friend, Donna. That was her friend who she had been known for years. The lawyer friend that she was staying with the last day. I believe that they had been friends for decades. So I believe it's someone that she trusted, who's portraying her funeral on YouTube. I am not sure if they're going to be doing any type of Jean. Okay, well, thank you so much for letting me know. Thank you, Jamie. And Jamie, thank you for your all your kind words. Thank you, Jamie, so much for keeping us updated. And this is a war on the people. I agree. And if if it means investigating hospital protocol, if it means researching other ways to fight what's going on, whatever it may mean, I cannot believe it's CirstenW that we're talking about here when it comes to this. But if her death can as much good as she did in her life, if her death can still continue to help us, let it help us in this way, in connecting more when it comes to these hospital procedures, protocols, the liability that they have, what they are doing, what they are not doing, and how they in the end become responsible for all of this, or what or how they play into all of this, and so anyway, Dee Dee, what I'm trying to read all your messages. Jago or not? I don't know, Jamie. Again, I tried asking her where she was on December 31st, and I was outright denied even to find out the location. I have the contact to one of her best friends of decades who lives in Los Angeles. And I go back in my head and I think to myself, why didn't I call this person? Why didn't I call this person? Why didn't I call this person? I don't know that she told me, well, you wouldn't have been able to do anything anyway. But I certainly would have tried, But they denied me of the right to know what her location was. And trust me, I've spent a lot of time on the phone with her best friend over the last few days, with one of her best friends who also lives in LA. And she's devastated. She's just not public, She's devastated. I gave her the news. She didn't even know. She didn't even know because she went to the hospital to see her. And that was the last time she saw her. And then the next day she died. And so she couldn't even believe it when I called her to tell her. I said, I don't know who else to call. And thankfully, Kirsten connected both of us, as always, Kirsten trying to help me in some way, and I have her number, and we have a good relationship. And she was like, "What do you mean Kirsten is dead?" I was like, "Oh my God, you don't know." And she was like, "No, she's not. No, she's not." And I was like, "Oh my God." She called the hospital. They wouldn't give her answers, and then she made some other phone calls, and that's how she found out that Kirsten had passed. Don't let yourself think like that. And then the hospitals wouldn't let anyone do anything. I know, Rebecca, but I can't help to think that way, Maybe I should have dressed up as a nurse or something and gone in there, I don't know, like the movies. Kirsten had toxic overload. I don't know. Well, I don't know about her detox, but again, I don't know that had anything to do with her bacterial pneumonia, Jamie. I don't know. All I know is that I heard on her videos that she was very weak, that she didn't have an appetite for a couple of weeks. But see, this all happened after she got back from Virginia. So that's why I try to put that timeline together for you guys, because she got back from Virginia, from what I know, on December 17th, and that's when she started feeling sick. December 16th, we still did a video. I think she was at home when we did a video. But it was then when she started getting really sick. So whatever she picked it up in Virginia. And her Christmas video, she says she's really sick, right? Her Christmas video, she says that she's overslept, that she hasn't eaten in 4 days. That's the video you're talking about, right? Or the video on the 28th. Let's see, hold on. I just heard Dr. McCullough say on radio, if you go to the hospital and then have a TB test, whether you're likely or not. Everybody's getting COVID tests when they go to these hospitals now. You got bacterial pneumonia from a surgical procedure. It's very dangerous. See, there you go. That's what I'm saying. Jamie, that's what I'm saying. She had a medical procedure done the second week of December. And I feel that's where she got the bacterial pneumonia with the health guy she was on with. And so anyway, she spoke in Virginia on Saturday, December 18th. Oh, okay. So again, this all happened the second week of December, but on her video on the 28th, and then again on the 28th, she constantly repeats how tired she is, how exhausted, how weak, how she spent days in bed. I obviously wish she wouldn't have left Florida. Obviously wish, she would have just skipped the California trip altogether. Maybe in Florida she would have gotten different treatment. Maybe in Florida she would have, the doctors would have treated her different. I heard somebody, a very close source to her yesterday, say she was treated different because of her ideologies in California. And I agree. Whether it's true or not, that's my opinion. I do think she was treated different because of her ideologies. And so I think that's something that we got to be very, very careful with. No appetite, she said on her show a week before. She admits to Martin Nelson that she was under a major detox after she had the new medical procedure, but the real news is putting out a fake funeral. Okay. So if you guys have more information as far as decode and the memorial, please send it to me so I can share with everybody else. I've mostly been doing all the reading about her right now. Like I said, on her own Telegram and on George's Telegram, on the alternate Telegram that she had, the CW Connect. And just trying to put everything together, and her videos. I watched some of her videos yesterday. Once you get into the hospital, I just don't trust them anymore. I mean, I don't trust them, and I can't tell you of any recent personal experiences when it comes to hospitals. But right now, I'm having a really hard time trusting anything that they do, especially, with some of the stories that I've heard. One of my friend's husbands recently passed away, and she, after she left the hospital, because she was in the hospital herself, the first message that she sent to me was, they killed my husband. We should have more medical freedom, guys. We should be able to take whatever we want under our own responsibility. We should be able to choose what medicines we take, or what medicines we choose to refuse. It should not be, I understand, obviously, doctors have responsibility, but that's what forms and signatures are for, so that we can sign off on their liability. And especially in these times. And I truly hope that Kirsten was not treated different because of who she was, because of her political ideologies, because of her stance on the vaccine, because of her stance against Fauci. I know for a fact that she got very vocal with the nurses. Of course, Kirsten, right? She got very vocal with the nurses and the doctors, and about Fauci and about the vaccine. I know for a fact. Okay, she got very, very vocal, and you can laugh about this because I've cried a lot over the last few days, and if something makes me laugh is I could just picture her going off on the doctors and nurses about Fauci and the vaccine and everything else, and I can see that. I can see her getting that way. Because in the end, it was Kirsten. It's who she was, and she was Kirsten until the end, and I just hope that didn't work against her, that they didn't use that against her, and that it wasn't a factor in her, untimely death. So let's see. Why did Michael Jaco leave her there? Just an observation. I didn't even meet Michael at the party. I didn't realize she was that sick until I started hearing more rumors. When I talked to her on the 31st, I thought, oh, by tomorrow she'll be fine. It's Kirsten. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She's strong. And she was talking to me. She sounded weird, but she told me I'm gagging and I'm nauseous. So they said, okay, well, but she sounds good. And then here's the thing. I saw her Instagram post where she said, I almost died. If you go back and watch her and read her Instagram post, she says, I almost died from bacterial pneumonia. If you guys remember that, go look at her Instagram. So when somebody says, I almost died, you think, okay, well, they're in the clear now, right? When you are talking about yourself and you say, I almost died, what does that tell you? That tells you that you almost died, but now you're fine because now you're posting about it and you're posting pictures of yourself and you're texting about it, Even so, obviously, I kept on calling her and she didn't answer. I called her all of Saturday, which was January 1st, and I sent her 2 messages on January 1st. She didn't answer. By Sunday, I was already in Tijuana, and I messaged her again. Let me see the messages. I have them here. Let me show you. On Sunday, I messaged her again. Monday again. Let me show you. But she wasn't answering. And I said, what is going on? These are my messages to her, if you guys can read them. So, January 1st, I said, please text me and let me know how you are. Kirsten, is everything okay? Kirsten, that was Saturday. Sunday, I said, Kirsten, I'm worried about you. Kirsten, please call me. I'm very worried. Kirsten, Thursday, just checking in to see if you're okay. But I think by the time I sent that message, she had already died. And I said, Kirsten, you never told me what hospital you're at. So, anyway, guys, what a strange couple of days it has been, definitely for myself, definitely for so many of us. And I think all of this just goes to show us that we have to support each other more. I agree, more of us should have been there for her, directly at the hospital, directly at the hospital. I didn't realize things were going to get this bad, guys, because if I would have known, I would have been there 4 o'clock in the morning, January 1st. I underestimated how things were, and maybe they wouldn't have let me in, but maybe I could have made this more public and gotten people to put pressure on this hospital to let us see her, to let us help her. But again, this is what they do to people. This is what they do. They don't allow them to see their relatives. They don't allow anybody to come in. It's a hospital protocol. But if we wanted to get her out of there, maybe found a way to get her out of there. So anyway, I want you guys to know that that our hearts are together in all of this, for those of you who cared about her and who are missing her and who will probably miss her for a long time to come, especially those of you who made her part of your daily routine, who are used to seeing her, who saw her as an authority for information and as an influencer. Remember that she was an influencer. And I'll be back. I get very overwhelmed with all of this myself, and crazy thinking. So your part, what you could have done. She was an adult, but she was an adult who was incapacitated at that point. Her oxygen levels weren't normal, nowhere near being normal, and that she really needed her more friends, and she was terrified. She was terrified and deserted. But again, this is how most people with COVID are nowadays, guys. Even if they do have family, even if they do have family outside, even if everybody knows where they're at, this is how a lot of people. Hey, Bruce, how are you? Please send me a. Okay, here we go. I'm going to invite Bruce. Bruce, I want you guys to know that Bruce was one of Kirsten's Oh, there you go. Hi. Oh my God, it's comforting to see you. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great, great, great. Yeah, I joined in a little late. I had actually made a decision a few weeks ago because I got kicked off of Facebook again to fork them, and I deleted all my Facebook stuff. But now, since the Kirsten situation, I decided to come back on Facebook to continue to give them shit because this is ridiculous. What these tech companies are doing, you know, the people that are getting censored and banned for talking about the truth, that's what Kirsten did. She was a truth teller. Whether you know, she was sometimes a little rough and abrasive to some people, which that's fine. That's why Kirsten and I got along so well, is that we're both of the same mindset. You know, just tell the truth and damn the rest, you know?
I know. I know. I'll give you guys a little history between Bruce and I. So I was flying to Florida for Kristen's event, you know, and I flew into the Tampa airport, and I told her, you know, I don't, because I know she got very stressed out about everything. You know that, Bruce. She got really stressed out about things. She had the big event coming up the next day. So I said, you know, Kristen, don't worry about it. I'll just either rent a car or take an Uber, which was about an hour away from Sarasota. And it seemed to me like she was just like, okay, fine, whatever. But within an hour, she's like, no, no, somebody's gonna come and get you from the airport, you know. And even with all the things she had going on, she still took the time to try to find ways so that I wouldn't have to either rent a car or pay for an Uber. And Bruce came and got me from the airport. Thank you so much, Bruce, for doing that. And we had a great time. We really did. You know, we went.
Yeah, that that was initially how I first met Kirsten. Is I heard, you know, I saw her shows, heard about the event, and I signed up for a VIP ticket. And then I told the gal that her assistant at the time, Carrie or something, I can't remember. Anyway, I said, hey, if you guys need any help, I can get there early to help set up, do whatever, let me know. And then the very next morning, I get a phone call, and it's Kirsten. She goes, hey, I know you're coming, but I wonder if you could do me a favor. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And so she's go to Tampa Airport and pick up one of the speakers and bring him with you. So I didn't know who it was. You know, she just told me the name. So I roll up to the airport, and there's you know, Paloma sitting out there waiting. So yeah, we had a great time talking on the hour drive from Tampa to Sarasota.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how Paloma and I met, and that was actually the first time I met Kirsten face to face, and we hit it off, you know, right from the very get-go. She was a good friend. I was at her house actually, you know, the day before she left to go to the Virginia event with Ricky Rebel. I was there at her house, came by to see her and pick up one of her books to get her sign one of her books for a friend of mine. And she was doing her show with Jaco and the C360 Evo guy. So yeah, if you watch that show, as you can see, she's talking and, you know, stuff. I was there, you know, across the table from her. Yeah, she was like Scott called her. She's the crazy rich Asian. You know, she like I said, she didn't care, you know, what anybody thought about her or what she said. You know, she knew her truth and she put it out there like that. So yeah, I'm very you know, saddened, you know, that she was taking out another casualty of this freaking war. You know, I don't know if did you tell them, you know, but she was COVID positive? Yeah.
Yeah, she posted. I realized that she even posted about it on her Telegram that she had tested positive for COVID. But I don't think it's COVID that killed her. I mean, she had pneumonia for a couple of weeks.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was because of the COVID thing. You know, the hospital wanted to default to their normal criminally negligent protocol. You know, with remdesivir, which will shut down your kidneys, and then the you know, want to slap you on a ventilator, and she told them, hell no, no remdesivir and no ventilator. You know, so yeah, I mean, I saw a few people commenting about, you know, Jaco and stuff. They didn't know they were supposed to be meeting. Kirsten was supposed to meet them or pick them up from the airport when they arrived in LA for the Sue Wong event.
Yeah.
and she never showed up to the airport, so they didn't know where she was until, you know, later. And then it was too late. They couldn't get in the hospital to try to slip her some of the proper stuff that'll, you know, help battle this, the disease. So yeah, it's just unfortunate, the whole situation. I know that there are many people on many different levels still continuing to look into the situation and try to find out truth. And as soon as we're able to, you know, publicly disclose what we've come up with, then we will do that for sure. But I was, yeah, it's amazing to me that this whole thing has happened. I'm still in shock.
I'm so mad they didn't give me her location at this flight. I told you, I've been telling you this. When I talked to her, I asked her for her location. They wouldn't give it to me. Well, not only would they not give it to me, they wouldn't allow her to give it to me. I mean, I even told her, just send me the location on WhatsApp, because we talked on WhatsApp. That's how her and I communicated. And it would have been so easy for her to just send me the location, you know, just send me the location. And at that point, I mean, I don't care if I had to dress up as a freaking nurse or something to get in there. You know what I mean? But you know, it's just all these what ifs. But the thing about it is that for those of us who knew her in person, and I'm sure you can agree with this with me, Bruce, we thought of her as being so strong. It was Kirsten. Like, you don't think of her dying of COVID at some disgusting hospital. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I hate hospitals. I really do. I really do. And I have a friend who is a doctor, and we argue about this a lot. We really do. And it's and I don't mean to disrespect doctors who are, you know, true to their mission and to their cause and to their oath, or nurses or any anesthesiologists, or, you know, but I've had such bad experiences with hospitals sometimes, you know, and I have a personal issue, a personal resentment. And again, I know that I can't generalize, just like we can't generalize with anything, you know, in life. But I don't know. It's become an industry of fear, something that we fear instead of something we respect and value and need, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, a lot of the, you know, the doctors, they don't have control over what they're due. You know, that's one of the things about Western medicine. If you think about it, you know, go back to way back in the day. I'm old enough. I'm 53, and I remember, you know, it was the ending about the time when I was young, but doctors making house calls. You know, you go to a doctor's office, there's one doctor, but there's been this consolidation of doctors into groups, and all these groups are tied to the hospitals, and then the hospitals are the ones that are driving the protocol, the administrators, because there is no independence of these doctors anymore. They're beholden to the corporations and the hospital administrators, or else they can get fired and, you know, kicked out and, you know, not have a career as well. I mean, everything has been consolidating into this, you know, huge, you know, we used to talk about, you know, the military industrial complex, you know, wanting to have constant wars all the time. Now we're into the pharmaceutical industrial complex. You know, the big pharma, you know, companies, they are the ones who are running everything. I mean, I was going to do a show. I got my own channel. I was encouraged, you know, to start my own channel by Kirsten and by Scott McKay. So I got my own channel on YouTube that I'm trying to battle to stay on there. I'm in the process of trying to get out to other platforms as well.
Shit,
in case
I know
YouTube
that
decides
person was really helping you promote your channel. She really was.
She's huge. She is one of the main reasons, you know, that I got, you know, what I got going on up there.
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is, she could draw people, man. You know, regardless of what you think, she could draw people. I mean, just as an example, a couple months ago, I went down, had lunch with her, and we did this live stream on my channel of us driving around Sarasota, going through the fancy neighborhoods. She showed us where Judge Judy lived, and what's the other guy from the talk show, the crazy one, I can't remember his name. Anyway, we're just driving around, and that video got like almost 4,000 views just us driving around looking at places in Sarasota.
I went to the beach with you and her, remember?
Yeah, we did that when, yeah. I mean, she could go crazy. And then I
What
did
I
a
really
video
loved
the
about
night that I
Kirsten is I really love that she tried to promote other patriots. You know, she really did.
yeah, she was like very helpful. She came on my show, you know, a couple times. She was very helpful in, you know, ideas and things, you know. So yeah, she was very helpful, and you know, now I'm, you know, kind of looking for a new mentor in this world of podcasting and stuff like that. You know, the other thing, even after she passed, that video that I did the night that she passed away, that thing has like 12,000 views. You know, and most of my other, you know, videos have, you know, I get a couple hundred, 200, 300 views on most of the normal stuff I do. But every time she was on, boom, you know, the engagement and the views went up. So, I mean, she was a spectacular person. Gonna miss her dearly.
You know, Brett, the reason why I made this video, Bruce, was because I've gotten so many messages and so many comments about people that, first of all, are in absolute shock and disbelief. You know, they just can't believe that she's gone. I can't either. You know, I woke up January 7th and I opened up my eyes because I just kind of passed out, just in shock the night we found out she had died. And I woke up on the 7th thinking, oh my God, did I just have a nightmare or is this real? Like, is she really gone? You know, it just, and I think a lot of us feel that way. You know, thousands of us feel that way because, I mean, I didn't really watch her shows. And I've said this, you know, a bunch of times because I'm so busy. I don't watch TV. I don't really, you know, but I used to talk more with her on the phone, you know, and,
Right.
and just to know, like, oh my God, she's gone. Like I'm never gonna talk to her again ever. It's been so shocking. She was such a source of energy. She really was, you know. Are you?
Yeah, my channel on YouTube is called Unpopular Viewpoints. Unpopular Viewpoints, my channel on YouTube, and yeah, so a weird, strange thing happened the morning that she passed away on the 6th. I was down having some coffee with a friend, and my phone rang, and it was Kirsten's calling in. I was like, holy shit. So I picked up the phone real quick. I says, oh my God, I'm so glad you called. How are you doing? And there was no noise. I mean, no voice, no talking, just some silence. And then there was some muffled rustling, you know, almost like a butt dial type of thing if a phone's in a pocket or so I kept talking and saying, hey, if you can't talk, just push a button on the phone so I know you can hear me. And again, nothing. It was just, like I said, this muffled rustling, like the phone was in a pocket or, you know, laying somewhere, but I could not hear any voice or deter or make out any voice.
3 people got phone calls like you. I didn't, but 3 other people. You and 2 others. So who had her phone? Who was using her phone and why these phone calls?
Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, looking back on it, you know, from the spiritual aspect, maybe she was calling, she knew something was going to happen. She was calling to say goodbye. I don't know. You know, that's what I want to believe and hold on to, you know, but I mean, I don't understand why if somebody had her phone would just dial a number and just not say anything. And that would be kind of strange. But I mean, we do live in strange times.
You do. We do. Dana is saying she will be so missed, sending prayers and condolences to her family and close friends. Yeah, and I hope that her family, I hope that the people that have her phone, I hope whoever has her belongings, as we talked about last night, Bruce, has been able to get a hold of her family, you know? I mean, obviously she was in communication with Singapore because she knew her dad had died. So obviously she knew she was in contact with them, but I hope that they've been able to contact the family so they can claim her body and everything else, because I mean it's so sad, you know, that
I know before Christmas she was talking and she was planning to go to Singapore because her dad was in poor health. I know that for a fact. We talked about that when I was at her house, and so yeah, she was planning to go to Singapore to see her dad because his health was failing. So yeah, that's just, you know, dad taken out, and then her, you know, who knows? Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for this all to be over and the real truth come out and these doctors and hospitals be held accountable.
I agree.
No, Brian. The deep state. No, Brian. The deep state is not winning. The deep state is losing their ass, and they know it. They're a dangerous animal backed into a corner, and they're doing everything they can. We are winning, and unfortunately, in this war, there are going to be casualties. That's just the fact of life. It's not a war with bombs and guns and bullets and stuff, but yeah, there are casualties in this war, and we are kicking the deep state's ass.
And Gina, she was not married. She didn't have a husband. She was single. I know she did have a significant other, but she was definitely not married.
Well, it looks like Brian's a troll.
Oh God, let's block him. So anyway, I mean, no, we don't block, but I don't like to block free speech unless somebody's getting very, very insulting, and you know. But I'm just I don't know, just still in grief and disbelief and sadness and just I don't know. It's just so weird, Bruce. I know you are too. I know you were very upset in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, you know, here's the thing: is we could be sad and wallow, you know, or do what she would want to do and step up the game for, you know, exposing, helping people to understand what's going on, you know, to educate people. I mean, those people who are full of love and light need to continue to enhance that and, you know, grow our consciousness and our knowledge, because when the real truth starts to come out, the people who haven't believed it, their heads are going to nearly explode, and they're going to need people who understand what's been going on to be able to help them cope, you know, with the stuff that's going to be coming out.
And I definitely think what you mentioned last night about the hospital protocols and all of that has to be accounted for, Bruce. Because
absolutely, yeah.
A person may be someone who is very well known and you know, influential, but not everybody is, and this is happening to thousands of people all over America, especially in certain states.
100%, absolutely agree.
And they're, you know, and nobody's making videos about them with thousands of views or speaking up for them. They just become another number, another COVID death, you know, which is what they're gonna say is what killed Kirsten. They're gonna. I mean, did you see the Yahoo hit piece that they did on her?
No, I did. I missed it. Yeah, send me that link.
Yeah, Yahoo News did a hit piece on her yesterday, or I think it was the day before.
Because she was an anti-vaxxer, according to them, and blah blah blah, all the other bullshit that they pull out. Yeah.
Exactly. That was the exact title, the exact subject. Anti-vaxxer, QAnon, anti-vaxxer dies of COVID. What a most perfect headline.
Well, see, that just tells you that they don't know what they're talking about, because first off, there is no such thing as QAnon. There is no such thing as QAnon. There's Q, and then there are anons, but there is no QAnon. So that just tells you that when you see QAnon in a story, yeah, it's a bullshit hit piece.
Well, that was the Yahoo News and also the Daily Beast. They hit her too. I mean, we knew they would. Yeah. We knew they would.
Both deep state bags.
I'm sure there's going to be more. I'm sure there's going to be more. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, now that you've mentioned that, I'm going to go dig up all that stuff, and I'll do a show to expose them. Yeah, you know. So I just moved around my entire area in my house where my studio is for my videos that I do. So yeah, I'm excited to do some new stuff in my new position.
The only problem, Bruce, is that since unfortunately she was COVID positive, they're gonna say that she died of COVID. You know, I mean, just like when people are terminal, dying of cancer, and they test positive for COVID, they mark them down as another COVID death. When in reality, it's probably the cancer that killed them, or a person that gets into a car accident. You know, or George Floyd.
Yeah, it's the chemo or the chemotherapy that kills them, not the cancer. You know, it's yeah, we've been lied to a very long time. And yeah, the numbers, they're 800,000 plus people they say have died of COVID in the United States. That's a lie. You know, there's like you just mentioned, there is a huge difference of dying with COVID and of COVID. And
I don't know what happened. His he froze. If you guys can hear me, let me know. If you can still hear me, let me know. I can um let me close this. See if he'll come back in. 1 second, guys. Anyway, well, I had COVID, and thankfully I'm still here. And maybe Bruce wants to tell you guys more about his experience, and also with his wife, which I'm not going to talk about. But what I can tell you is I had COVID, and it was hard. You know, it was, to me, it was like a really, 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 I mean, really painful cold. Um, and but I took a lot of precautions. I took a lot of alternative medicine, and I'm here. And I know, you know, some people take different types of medicine. Yeah, Bruce is great, and I'm going to tell you guys the reason why I wanted to bring him on is because he was very, very, very loyal to Kirsten. In fact, like he said, he was just with her not that long ago. Um, he was with her just about 3 weeks ago at her house, even though he didn't live necessarily close by, because he lives in the Tampa area, and she lived in Sarasota. But in any case, he was very, uh, very dedicated to her, to helping her, him and his wife. You know, his wife is also very supportive of everything. And they were very supportive of her rallies, of her videos, of basically anything that Kirsten needed. And it's not just now. It's not just now that she's gone. And because of that, he, you know, Kirsten was very supportive of him as well. You know, of his shows and his channel that he started. Poppy, Unpopular Poppy, I believe his name is on YouTube. But if not, if I'm saying it wrong, or you know, or if you can't find it, once I'm done with this video, I will post his name on YouTube at the top of this link. Hydrate, okay? Yes, vitamin D, definitely. Anything that you can take to fight off inflammation, you know, focus, guys, on the inflammation. And I agree, vitamins, you know, I'm not qualified to give you any type of medical advice, but definitely do your research. And oh, there he is. Well, if you want to come back, Bruce, let me know. Froze up and kicked me off. Keep up the good fight. Oh, okay. Well, if you want to come back, let me know. But if not, I'm going to leave your name at the top of the video, because you're in it anyway. And so, again, I'm not qualified to give you any medical advice by any means, but definitely hydrate. Definitely look into taking care of your kidneys while you have COVID, inflammation, um, natural antibiotics. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. And if I know of anything more, which, you know, even now, after how many days? 4 days now. Kirsten's death is still sort of not a mystery, but it's just so many unanswered questions, you know. I'm sure there's going to be more and more questions that people have, but first of all, please remember what I told you. Kirsten dedicated her life to making a difference. Kirsten dedicated her life to you guys, to her audience. You are so important to her. You are so extremely, extremely important to her, to the point where she didn't want to miss getting on a flight because she had an event scheduled. And, you know, and this was all really meaningful to her. She had no financial need or any need whatsoever to do any of this. She was a millionaire. She had anything she needed if she really wanted it, you know, but she wanted to keep on fighting. It was her passion. It was her passion. And she wanted to help others. And she wished she had more energy. She told me a bunch of times, you know, if I was your age and blah, 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 you know. And that's why she was very pushy of me too, which sometimes I didn't like. And now I wish my phone would ring and it was Kirsten. As much as I hate getting phone calls from anybody. I don't talk on the phone. I hate talking on the phone. And I missed a lot of her calls over, you know, over the years, over at least this last year. And I would call her back, or I would text her, or, you know. But I did spend a lot of time on the phone with her because she liked talking on the phone, and she was very pushy with me. And now I wish my phone would ring, and it was her. You know, a little birdie told me. She liked birdies. Maybe that's why she liked me. You know, because my name means dove. So anyway, she called you. She called out the bad players. She did. She called out the bad players. She left me with she taught me a very interesting, you know, way to refer some of them pretentious opportunists. She's like, you know, that person is a pretentious opportunist. And I agree, you know. And I think her name and her memory and her legacy will live on for many, many years to come. And she motivated many, and she inspired many, and especially because of her diligence and her discipline, which is hard to have, especially when you're in the public eye, to do, you know, the same thing every day, all the time, and you know, and manage to stay interesting and creative and informative and relevant and all of that. No, she didn't have pets. She had two Dobermans that died last year at the same time after getting some sort of vaccine. One of the vaccines they got not last year, but the year before in 2020. And one of them died, and then soon after the other one died. So she wanted to get more dogs, but right now she didn't have any dogs. I was at her house in July, and she didn't have any dogs. So thank you, Rebecca, for all your comments, and I hope more and more is investigated into her death. We'll see what else we can do, and if there's anything more, I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated. Like I said, I'm for those of you who are wondering what this is, it's my rosary ring. I've worn it for years. I'm Catholic. I'm very very strong in my faith. I'm from Mexico, and I'm very religious and very, like I said, very, very strong to my faith and my beliefs. And anyway, I have this candle burning for Kirsten. And anyway, I just ask you to say a prayer for her. And all of you guys keep on praying for her soul to be at peace, you know. She wanted to do more, and I think that's really what, in the end, just caused a lot of harm to her. I don't know, you know. I don't know what other conditions she could have been dealing with, but other than her continuing to push herself, I think that was. I wish she would have gotten help in Florida. I really do. You know. I'll keep you updated if I know more. God bless you all. Thank you so much for caring about her, and keep her light going. Okay. Thank you guys, and I'll let you know more if I know more. Bye, everybody.